I'm so happy that you are tuned into this particular video, and I trust the universe is trying to help you to show you something that you have been neglecting for the past days of your life. So if you stay till the end of this video, you will learn what 90% of the world populace don't know, that only the 10% use, and they use it to become successful in their own particular life. Now, you have to realize something, that there is a way the rich and the poor do act. The rich acts in certain ways while the poor do act in certain ways. You can see me, I'm not holding a script, but I'm talking basically out of experience, out of what I have seen, what I have experienced in my own particular life, how life also dealt with me. So you have to realize and pay attention. If you stay till the end of this video, you will be able to know why your life has been running in a survival mode versus running in the wealth plane. Now, I did tell you something in the past. Go and check my previous video. You will hear where I consistently talked about your vibrational frequency, where I talked about the law of correspondence, the mirror principle, as within, so without. Get this point and get it absolutely clear right now. The mindset of the poor usually runs in the survival mode. So most times they don't always have. So they always try to run frantically, looking for what to feed, looking for what to eat, looking for how to survive the very moment they are in. While the wealthy do usually have the mindset that makes them to think 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, even 30 years ahead. Some of them even have plans of 50 years. The poor don't have that kind of plan. Because how can you be able to have a 50 years plan, a 30 years plan, a 20 years plan, when you know that you have not even been able to survive that particular moment you are in? The life of the poor are usually the life of urgency. Most times, everything in their life is urgent, and it seems like they cannot be able to meet it. So they try to frantically run up and down to find a way to make sure they try to meet that urgent need. So you have to put yourself in those shoes and try to ask yourself, where are you right now? When you can determine where you are right now, you would know if you are running on the poor man's frequency or on the wealthy frequency. Because the wealthy frequency is the frequency that runs in a wealth plane, the plane of happiness, the plane of having all that life can afford. While the poor man's plane is the plane of urgency, scarcity they don't normally have. So everything in their life has to be random, scattered. Let me tell you one of the basic things that often worries the poor people. It is running in the survival mode. The survival mode is when you lack the very necessary things that are needed to give you the fruitful desires of your life. Take, for example, a man who is in desert with just a little bottle of water or a little handful of meal, and that man has to stay there for the next 10 days. What do you think is the next thing that poor man would have to be doing, or that man would have to be doing? That man would have to be pinching that water because he doesn't want to run out of water. He will be pinching his meal. So, if for any reason he runs out of water or runs out of a meal, you know the next thing he will try to scavenge, to look for a means to survive that scorching heat of the moment. The life of the poor is always filled with a scorching heat that seems unbearable to them. So he will always want to look for something that he will use that moment to survive that particular day. So he will not have even the mindset to even think about the next 10 days, he wants to survive that very moment. So that is where the mental bandwidth comes in. The mental bandwidth is that inner construction of the mind that expands or shrinks. So, if your mindset is always clogged with bills to survive, what to eat, how the rent to pay, your children's school fees, your child is sick, How will you do with the in-laws? How will you pay these debts? How will you do this? How will you do that? If your mind is always clogged with all that, you will discover that your mental bandwidth is filled with bills upon bills upon bills. When it's filled up, where do you expect the mind of investment, the positive mindset, the mind that betters tomorrow? Where do you expect this other kind of mindset to enter? It's like a bus, an 18-seater bus. When you have 18 people that are filled in that particular bus, you can't take extra persons into that particular bus because that bus already has been filled up. So there is no extra seats for those other persons to come in. So that is how it is with the mindset of survival. Because you want to survive today, your mindset will be constructed in a way that it only does those things that will provide meal for today. It will not allow you to think. Now talk of taking actions that was supposed to help you to achieve financial freedom in the future. So every morning you wake up just to go and scavenge for a meal. Now, this is where the disparity between the poor and the rich started. It is just a simple analogy. In the past, we had hunters, people who go out to the forest to go and hunt for the bush meats. In your own local community, you do have it where a hunter goes out and comes back with a catch, with a catch. So, what happened then was that when these hunters go on their daily catch, look out, when these hunters go on their daily catch, they scavenge the forest, they set traps, some of them hold arrows. So when they see the animal that was coming, they will immediately set their bow and they will shoot. Sometimes they missed the shot, while sometimes they got the shot. Before the end of the day, they discovered that that trap that they set, sometimes it caught meat, sometimes it didn't catch any meat. So what happened is that when they get that catch for that particular day, they took it to the house. Since it's a live meat, they just immediately had to cut it, remove the intestine, remove everything in it. Then they just had to immediately start using it to cook meal for that day. So what happened is that was a survival mindset. They ate all they got that particular day. They had to cut it, they had to cut it, they had to use it and cook. The remaining one, they didn't know how to preserve it. So sometimes huge chunk of meat got wasted. And you find out that when they finish that particular pot of meal, they would have to go to the forest again to go and scavenge for another meal. That is the mindset of the poor, the life of survival, daily survival. So while some of them too did have the same mindset that, oh, okay, I couldn't use all of them, so I'd have to dry it. So they had to roast it and dry it. But nonetheless, that meat that they dried, there still came a time when it will finish. So the only thing that ran through their mindset was going to the forest on a daily basis so that they would not run out of food. This is the present mindset of the people who wake up on a daily basis to go to job. Every morning they go to work. Every morning they go to work. And when they get the money, immediately they get that money. That money is used to buy liabilities, to buy the daily needs. And I was part of it too. I wouldn't tell you that I myself, I escaped it. No, we all went through it until we knew better and we started doing better. Because you've been taught or trained in your school that you should just finish your schooling, go to work, get a job, when you finish your schooling, you get a job, you start going to work and they pay you, you start using it to buy liabilities that's not going to aid you. But now, a certain time came when certain intelligent hunters came in. When these intelligent hunters came in, they knew that a time will come, maybe they are now old, they will not be going to the forest all the time. And also, going to the forest all the time, even if they were skillful hunters, tragedy may occur. You might get there looking for the prey. At the end of the day, you now become the prey. You understand? So they discovered this thing. So they now said, What will I do for me not to be going to the forest all the time? They simply had to devise a means. They say, okay, we would have to find a way to catch these particular animals in a way that will not hurt them. Then we will now bring them back to our various homes, start rearing them. So, for example, you get a bushmeat, instead of you killing it immediately and drying or eating it, you bring them, you bring the male and the female, you keep them. You bring the male and the female. Sometimes it meant that what you caught that particular day, you will not eat it, but you just have to keep it. Maybe today you went and you caught the male. The next day you went and caught the male. The next time you went and caught the female, you brought it. It meant that maybe for some days you didn't have the opportunity to eat, but you had to feed on maybe what you had stored in the past. So you now created something like a round stick roundabout where you kept those animals. So when the male and female animals came together, they started mating, and when they started mating, they started having other younger ones because the female became pregnant, and then what was the next thing? They started having children. So those children, some of the animals brought in 10, some of them brought in 5 at once. You find out that you have 4 adults or 3 adults and you have like 10 other little ones to rear. So the next very best thing they started doing was, instead of going to the forest all the time, they started rearing it. They started feeding it. They started growing it in their compound. Now, this made them to now have large livestock. They started rearing. It then means that if they chose not to go to the forest for 1 month, yes, they could do it because they now have what they were going to the forest to seek at home. So the mindset of the wealthy is this, that I choose to plant a tree today that will shelter me in the next 20 years. It means that I may not be able to even eat the fruit of the labor, but my children and children that are coming would eat from the fruit of my labor. Yes, at best, it doesn't even happen that way. You find out that at the end of the day, they still eat from the fruit of their labor, the fruit you planted 20 years ago when you were small. Look at right now, it has become a gigantic tree that you don't even need to water. Right now, you can go under the tree and take rest. You can even eat from the fruit of that tree. So the mindset of the poor, they don't really like this time it takes. They don't like it. They just want it now. They feel like if it's going to take the next 5 years for me to invest in this, no. Since the result is not coming out immediately, no, I can't take it. So the poor, they just go and look for the next things that they will do sharp, urgently, just to get money or just to feed for that particular day. I was part of it. Where you go out every day, you come back, you just have a media. You go out, you come back, you just have a media. You just know that the next day you will go out. When you continually go out all the time, your mind is filled with bills I have not paid, school fees, children's hospital fees, how to take care of the family, things to buy, things to do, the clothes to wear, your shelter, the rent will soon expire, the landlord is on your neck. When your mind is clogged with all this, it breaks away the imaginative process of your mind to think in a wealthy form. And when you cannot be able to think in that form, no matter what you try, your mindset will always run in a survival mode. And can I tell you something? The survival mode is a mode of a rat running in a hamster wheel. You see that the rat is running, but the rat is getting nowhere. This is where we coined out the word, the rat race. No matter how you run in that hamster wheel, in that rat race, even if you carry first as a rat, you are still a rat. So right now, from this video, you have to ask yourself one particular question. On which side am I dwelling? Am I dwelling on the wealthy side or on the survival mode side of the poor? This is one of the basic questions you have to ask yourself right now. If you cannot ask yourself this question, don't go further ahead with this video. Don't. Because it will only be a waste of your own time, though not mine. Because I know there are people who are going to take these videos and take it very, very serious to change their own life and their destiny. Don't look about the environment. I know it is easy for you to say, oh, since I'm doing this kind of video, I was supposed to be in a very exotic environment. Can I tell you something? The video that changed, that some of the videos that changed my life only had 3 views, 10 views. They didn't have millions of views. They didn't have thousands of views. They just have 30 views. But I looked at the content and I decided that I was going to put in practice what I learned from that video. And it changed me. You too also can be changed, but it all depends on what you decide in your life right now. Are you running in the survival mode or you are running in the wealthy mode? The wealthy are ready to be patient to train or grow something. Right now, physically, you may not have all it takes, but if you decide that you want your life to change, you have to expand your mental bandwidth to contain the wealthy thoughts, because it is the wealthy thoughts that helps your paradigm to be open to see wealthy actions to take. But if your mind, your mental bandwidth cannot expand to take those things, it will only be clogged with bills to pay today, excuse me, bills to pay tomorrow, this to pay, hospital this, running up, running down. And in the end, just like the law of attraction, you will keep on attracting that predominant thought of your mind. You will keep on attracting that predominant thought of your mind. It's a simple question. What's going on right now in your mind? What's going on in your mind? Ask yourself this simple question. The wealthy have a way of thinking. The poor have a way of thinking. What's running in your mind? Are you running in the survival mode or you are critically running on the wealthy mode? The result of your life will show. If you have any question you want to ask me, feel free, go to the comment section below and ask. Feel free to subscribe so that more of these videos as they come up, you will be able to be the first persons among others to be getting this kind of videos so that your life will change in this 2026, because it is easy to remain complacent and feel livid, just leave it anyhow and feel like your life is going to change. No, nobody, your life will not magically change by you sitting down, folding your hand and crossing your leg. Nobody drifts to success. Nobody. You must set your sail, and it begins with your mind. If you don't change your mind, your paradigm will work against you. No matter what you do, you will not succeed. It will look as if they are cursing you in your village, but they are not cursing you. Nobody is cursing you. You are the one giving yourself self-prophecy, and it will be fulfilled. But I know that because you've watched or encountered this particular video today, I know that something about your life is going to change. It's going to change. Yes, I know it's going to change. Only if you are going to put into practice what you've learned today. Thank you very much.